Good morning, comic book fans. Welcome back to Comics in 5 Minutes. I am your ever-loving host, Shorty. I'm going to review Wiccan, The Witcher's Road today, and I'm not going to lie, I was put off just by the title. And it's not anything to do with the character or the story, it's the fact that Marvel had a recent, quite popular TV series which featured as one of its main characters, Wiccan, and one of the key features of that TV show was him going on the Witcher's Road. And it feels like Marvel were just like, well, let's stay culture relevant like a year later, or at least try to make people go, oh, I remember that, even though it was only a year ago, and just do it purely as some kind of marketing thing. And it's annoying for a couple of reasons. Number one, just stop that. Secondly, you're Marvel, mate. Calm down. Just tell good stories. If any company producing English language comic books in the world kind of has a little bit of leeway to take some risks and do some fun stuff because they've got literally oodles of money. They've got Disney money. It should be Marvel. They should be having more fun than they're currently having. It turns out what they're mostly doing is poaching B-grade DC writers and being really, really proud of themselves, but not doing anything which makes me want to really engage that much outside of the Ultimate Universe. And this is very much that kind of story. I got excited when I first opened it, though. There's a really, really nice opening page where fantastic use of the guttering is going on, like actually adding real-world elements to the page layout, the kind of stuff that I, as a lover of comic book form, was very much in favour of, and it is literally the only time they do it in the entire comic book, and I was like, well, there we go, that feels very Marvel once again. Here's this cool little idea we're going to tell you, it's like, pay attention to it, look how cool this is, but then we're just not going to do that anymore, because we've done it, it's done what it needs to, it's got your attention, you're now paying attention to this. It just, I mean, it's the Ms. Marvel TV series all over again. It is just, here's this fantastic first issue where they're playing around with reality and how characters see and interact with the world, and then promptly forget about that entire very cool visual narrative design and just do a Marvel TV series. This is kind of the same route, but I do like some of the stuff about it. I'm not gonna lie. I have fun dunking on Marvel, because why wouldn't you? They're really easy to dunk on. But the actual comic book itself is kind of cool. There's a lot of things I like. For a start, we begin with Wiccan having lost his magic powers. And, I mean, this is pretty much what happened the last time I read a Doctor Strange issue 1. And it feels like, magician, starting a story. No magic anymore. Don't get me wrong, I know it's not all they do. I read the Scarlet Witch thing. But it did also feel like, this again. But unlike Doctor Doom, where the entire story was then, go hang out with Iron Man, get a spaceship and go find his magic space powers in space, because that's where magic is. It's more a case of now you just have to survive without him for a while. Now I have to see who you are without that. And I find that to be a far more interesting story to tell. Now, there's a whole bunch of stuff I don't know about what led up to this one. I've not been reading the Imperial stuff, but I do know him and his husband, Hulkling, crash landed somewhere as a result of something that went wrong, and they are now on this adventure together. And here's one of those things where I find myself a little bit on the fence on something here, because I am all about people putting actual career relationships in stories if it is the right thing to do for them, and in this one, it absolutely is. And there's a part of me which really enjoys the fact that this is just a happily married couple. They show physical affection to each other, they hug, they kiss, they have cute little pet names for each other, they have no problem affirming their feelings out loud to an audience. And I'm like, yeah, cool, that should be a good thing. But because I do spend quite a bit of time engaging not just with queer media, but queer media analysis, I see an awful lot of people, quite rightly I think, pull up this idea that the only way a straight audience should be okay with a gay relationship is if it feels like a straight relationship but just happens to have two people of the same gender involved in it. And I'm a bit like, right, yeah, okay, this does feel still very much heteronormative right up until that one failing block of a tripping plot kind of thing, but I still rather have it than not have it. And I do like the story. I've got to say, they've created this own little world for themselves. They've got a really nice amount of threat and peril. We've got all these various things which are going to get in the way. No real solid antagonist yet, but we're building up a background character to reveal a lot of stuff. Feels a bit like a follow me down this path, we're going to drip feed the story to you. And I mean, that's kind of why the Witcher's Road all along story worked for me. It was episodic, we did get these slow reveals of what was going on. If they're going to do that kind of thing, I will pull back a little bit of criticism and I'll say, yeah, as a narrative way of getting a flow of a story, that does work for me. But first and foremost, character matters, and Wiccan and the Hulkling are both just a couple of really cool characters, and I can't wait for more of their story. That's it from me for now, though. Until I see you all again, look after yourself, everyone. Stay safe. Bye!